I think it's absolutely what we've never really done is the kind of the groundwork of actually really identifying where our core vote is. We know who our core supporters are, but we don't know where our core vote is.
One of the funny things about when I was talking about students in Pavil's going around Glasgow Uni, thinking, computer science students will get them to vote power, and you end up having the lecturers who are the ones that are interested.
Yeah, well, exactly, because until we absolutely know for sure, it's also something that we've always assumed, and it was even about to do with standing in Manchester Gorton, for example. So you kind of assume, well, a kind of student area or a student constituency is likely to be more receptive, but we don't even necessarily know that for sure. So I think it's also a bit of a dry run of starting to work.
One of the things about obviously standing in regions, it does kind of force you to go out to everyone rather than just say, well, we're standing in this constituency where all the students live. You have to just kind of look at the big picture.
On the thing of picking up disaffected Lib Dems, it's a really interesting thing, because it's also, I kind of noticed in terms of various people that kind of Lib Dems that talk to me and pretend they don't. Is that there is that dissatisfaction there, but one thing that we've never really done as a party is that we've actually been very good at very much focusing on what we have to say and being very positive. And we're not. It's the people that we attack are the BPI or other kinds. It's not particularly been other politicians, but. Are you imagining being slightly more ruthless What's in your mind?
Ruthlessness. Yeah.
I would say that Scottish politics in this election is basically a face-off between Labour and SNP. And it is basically the SNP sort of a strong Scotland, the sort of nationalist side, versus Labour. Oh no, the Tories are in power. So we need Labour in government so that we can fend them up. So I think when you have this kind of very fiery debate going on, we may need to start, I wouldn't say attacking, but at least pointing out the flaws in their plans, pointing out that the Lib Dems have let down their voters, pointing out that Labour are, I don't need to start on that, pointing out that the Tories have been slashing away at the budgets and have been, all their talk about students, about how their new plans would not stop poor students from going to university. It's a lie, it seems. As many people there's been a huge uptake in, I think, apprenticeships, because people have decided, I don't want to go to university, it's too expensive, so I'll go for that route. So, yeah, we do need to start, pointing out that, these people aren't great. Maybe we could do a better job.
Yeah, I think it's easier when you have one particular clear target. So that's something that we can think about also nationally.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, it's probably lunch. Come on, we're hungry. Make it quick. Go. Yeah.
Another question.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm from London. I don't know much about Scottish politics, and obviously Scottish Pirate Party do. Obviously, running as an independent union like this is allowing you to contest the election much more effectively, analyse your own policies, and work out your own strategy. This is obviously working very well for you.
Right.
My worry I've had, and some other pirates have expressed, that the independence of the Scottish Pirate Party is perhaps weakening the Pirate Party UK as a whole, with devolving powers and message. That's been a concern raised by many members.
Yeah. Well, independence of the Scottish Pirate Party sounds a bit like, it's not really. I wouldn't use those words. I mean, we are going on a PPUK manifesto, which will be voted on by PPUK members, PPUK policies. Obviously, Peter Brett is a campaigns officer and has the final say. I like to think he trusts my judgment, but I'm perfectly willing to kind of, take what I'm given and work with that. So, I mean, what is it specifically that you're kind of concerned about?
I'm just wondering, I guess this is going to work well for your campaign. The concern is that the PPUK message will be diluted. Are you voting for the PPUK by making the Scottish Pirate Party?
As a film conservative, I disagree with you, and I'm actually quite confident in the Scottish Party. And what I've seen, they haven't diluted the pirate message at all, and as far as I can tell, they are still very focused on the things that all of us from England care about too.
I think.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah, there you go.
Just quickly. We're not taking anything out. Can I just make that clear?
Right.
We're adding things that are very relevant to Scottish people. For instance, on the issue of privacy, in our schools, children pay for their school meals using a card, which is linked to a database, which tracks everything they eat, which is a bit weird and wrong, and we don't really like it. That's the sort of thing that only applies to Scotland, so that's what we would put in. We wouldn't take out privacy. That's the sort of difference.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, as campaign officer, as Finlay says, I am actually kind of responsible for making sure that campaigns are conducted in a congruent fashion, and I'm totally happy that, kind of from a policy point of view, the Scottish campaign is all A-OK.
Yeah.
So they have
Well,
very
thanks.
confidence. It's great.
Yeah, can I just about the Scottish sort of independence or whatever? We have to just realise that Scotland is very different from the British elections. That Scotland has different agendas, and that we need to be able to relate to those. Because if we stand there acting as though we are a Westminster party, it doesn't play well in Scotland, and people will not vote for us for a reason that has nothing to do with our core policies. So that's why we need to adapt.
I think, really, if you look at what any other party does, Labour, Lib Dems, Tories, you know, they always have their own kind of Scottish section of their party. But even the Greens, who have a completely separate party registered with the Electoral Commission, they're actually completely split and they have different policies and everything. But when you vote for them, you're not really thinking, oh, it's the Scottish Greens, or is it the English Greens, or is it the Scottish Lib Dems? It's not just Greens or Lib Dems, or, you know, you're voting for the Greens because you like trees, or you're voting for, you're voting for. I should really stop with the Greens, but no, I mean, you are voting for Labour because you want, you know, Labour values, or you want Lib Dem values.
War of Iraq.
Yeah, basically, you know, if you like invading countries. But not, you know, not anything, not any kind of intervention in Libya, but it's okay in Iraq. So, yeah, that's the kind of people that vote Labour. No, but yeah, I mean, it is more about the actual party, and if we just put out the pirate message, I mean, we're not going to attach a Scotland flag to the P logo or anything. So
it's pirate policy for Scotland. It's not pirate policy for Britain.
I mean, the thing about the pirate party is there are what 40 different. I mean, someone update me. Is it 40 or is it increased? Rick, you might know. How many pirate parties are there right now?
Well, there were 41 as of this Wednesday morning, at least.
Right. So yeah, 41 pirate parties in across the world, and pretty much every single one of them has the same policy. Maybe you know, one party has to copyright should be 10 years and one say 5 years, but we're all pretty much saying, you know, the same thing. We need much bigger reform on copyright and patent law, with privacy, freedom of speech. We're against censorship. We want open and transparent governments. And I mean, can someone really tell me, you know, another party that has 40 sister parties and they have as coherent I mean, I don't know why you're worried about the UK and Scotland. If we can manage to do this on a world level, if the Pirate Party of Tunisia, the Pirate Party of Canada, the Pirate Party of New Zealand and Germany and Britain can all have, and obviously Sweden and Switzerland, you know, we're all saying pretty much the same thing on a world level. So I really don't see where the whole I mean, that seems insignificant then, doesn't it? Lunchtime. Unless there's anything.